Hi everyone, this is Anvesh, degree lecturer in English at TTWRDC Men Karimnagar. Uh, yeah, we have a sentence here on the screen. So, what would you do if you were rich? What does it mean? If you look at this sentence is asking us to do two things. The first thing, the sentence is asking us to imagine that we are rich persons, and the sentence is again asking us to imagine what we will do if we are rich persons. So essentially the sentence is asking to imagine ourselves to be rich persons and what we will do if we become rich persons. So you can answer this question by saying, like, if I were a rich person, I would buy a car. But does that mean we are rich persons now? No, that doesn't mean we become rich persons. So it's all imaginary, it's all in our mind. So these kind of sentences are called as conditional sentences in English language. So we use conditional sentences in English language to talk about imaginary situations in the past, present, as well as in the future. We use these sentence structures in English language all the time to talk about situations or circumstances that might take place or that might never take place in future. And we can also use these structures in our language to talk about things in the past. So many a time we look back at the past, and we wish things were different in the past. And we also use these conditional sentence structures for predictions and expectations. So future is always uncertain. Nobody knows what will happen in future. So we can use these sentence structures to predict or expect the things that may take place in future. And most of the times certain actions or events dependent on the occurrence of other events in the other events. So we use these conditional sentences to talk about one action conditional to the other action. So these are all the scenarios or situations in which these conditional sentence structures in English language normally used. So before we have a discussion about the types of conditional sentences in English language, let's first try to understand what a conditional sentence is. So look at the title. The title contains the word conditional. So from this word conditional, we have a word condition, we have a noun condition. So what does it mean? So a condition normally means a situation or a circumstance. So what is a condition? A condition is something that must exist, or as a condition is something that one must do. So essentially a condition is something that must happen in order for something else to take place. So from this word condition we have the word conditional, an adjective form. So what does it mean by the word conditional? Conditional means something that is necessary, something that must be true, or something that must always take place before another event or thing can happen. So a conditional sentence is that something that must be true, something that must be necessary, or something that must take place in order for something else to happen. So conditional sentences is a name in English language for a group of sentence structures. Essentially these are all sentence structures in English language, and primarily these are all a combination of sentence structures in English language. So and what is a conditional sentence actually? So a conditional sentence is a sentence that is used to refer to a possible condition and its probable result. that may happen only if the condition specified is fulfilled or satisfied. So here we are talking about two different events or two different actions. So one result is dependent on the occurrence of the satisfaction of other event. So only if one condition is satisfied, only one condition is fulfilled, then based on that condition the result will happen. So let's first try to understand the structure of a conditional sentence. So if you look at these conditional sentences are examples of complex sentences in English language. So we have four different kind of sentence structures in English language. The first one is simple, the second one is a compound sentence, and the third one is complex sentence, and the fourth one is compound complex sentences. Among these four sentence structures, our conditional sentences come under the category of complex sentences. So in order to understand what a conditional sentence is, it's imperative to understand the structure of a complex sentence. So a complex sentence means any sentence which contains an independent clause plus at least one dependent clause. So that is called as a complex sentence. So a conditional sentence has at least two clauses in it. So every conditional sentence contains two clauses. The first clause is if clause. So if clause in English language has some other names like a subordinate clause, and it is also known as a dependent clause, and it is also known as a conditional clause. So what is the reason behind all these names? So all these names gives us the clue for this subordinate clause. So an if clause is also known as a subordinate clause because if clause is always subordinate to some other part of the sentence. So it acts as a only supportive role. So and an if clause is also known as a dependent clause. Why it is considered as a dependent clause? Because if clauses never give us the complete meaning or the complete idea in a sentence. So if clause is always dependent on the independent clauses to convey the full meaning. And if clauses are also known as conditional clauses. Why? Because if clauses are used to specify the condition in a sentence. And look at the next part, and the second half of the sentence is considered as main clause, and it too also has some other names like independent clause or result clause. Independent clause, why is it called as an independent clause? Because this part of sentence gives us a complete idea or meaning on its own. So it does not necessarily depend on any other part of the sentence to convey full idea or meaning. And it is also known as a result clause. Why? Because this part of the sentence is used to convey the result. If the condition specified in the if clause is fulfilled, to convey that result we use this part of the sentence. So if clause is used to state the condition, while the main clause is used to state the result if the condition in the if clause takes place. So coming to the structure of these two parts of a sentence. So while framing conditional sentence, the order of if clause and main clause is not fixed. So we can, as for our convenience, use the if clause at the beginning of the sentence or the main clause at the beginning of the sentence. So if we prefer to begin the sentence by using if clause, the if clause must be followed by a comma. And if we prefer to begin this sentence by using a main clause, the main clause should never be followed by any punctuation marks. So no matter which part of the sentence is used to begin the conditional sentence, we always have to focus on the punctuation as well as the pronouns in the sentence. Yeah, if clauses. So these conditional sentences are also called as if clauses. Why? Because conditional sentences are formed by using different methods, but most of the time conditional sentences are framed by using the conjunction if. So the conjunction if is predominantly used, and there are some other conjunctions with the help of them we can also frame conditional sentences, but the conjunction if is used most of the time. And having said that, not all the sentences that have the word if are considered as conditional sentences, because if is a conjunction and it can be used like any other conjunction in English language. So not all the sentences that contains the word if are considered as conditional sentences. So types of conditional sentences. So based on the usage and based on the scenario or circumstances in which we use these conditional sentence, the following are the types of conditional sentences in English language. The first one is zero conditional sentence, and the second one is type 1 conditional sentence, and the third one is type 2 conditional sentence, and the last one is type 3 conditional sentence. So let's have a detailed discussion about all these conditional sentences. Zero conditional sentence. If you look at this title, the title contains the word zero. So the reason behind using this title, zero conditional sentence, is we can easily understand as we progress through the discussion. This conditional sentence is also known as factual conditional sentence. Why is it called as a factual conditional sentence? Because these conditional sentences, this zero conditional sentence structure is used to state or is used to talk about facts, truths. So these structures are always used to talk about facts or truths. So before we are going to have a discussion about the usage of this conditional sentence, let's first look at the structure of this conditional sentence, how this conditional sentence is structured. So in zero conditional sentence type, in both if clause as well as in main clause, only simple present tense structure is used. So in both parts of the sentence, in if clause as well as in main clause, only simple present tense should be used. Look at the example. So if you heat ice, it melts. So in both parts of the sentence, only simple present tense is used. This is the structure of zero conditional sentence. So when do we use zero conditional sentence structure? When do we use this pattern in our conversation? So this conditional sentence structure is used when the result will always happen. Normally conditional sentences are used to talk about two situations. So one situation linked to another situation. So one action's fulfillment, the occurrence of one event is conditional to the occurrence of other event. So only in those kind of scenarios do we normally use conditional sentences. As far as zero conditional sentence is concerned, this structure is used when the result will always happen. What do we mean by when the result will always happen? Look at the example. If you eat ice, it melts. So if you put some ice under the sun, is there anyone who is going to stop you doing that, performing that condition? No, there is no one to stop you. So you can easily put some ice under the sun or on a stove. So what will happen if you eat ice? The result will definitely take place. So normally what happens if you eat ice? It melts. So when the result will always happen, so every time you eat ice, only one kind of result will take place. It melts, so the result will always happen. And when the result is always true or a fact, so if you eat ice, it melts, this is a fact. If you eat ice, the only result that you will get is the melting of the ice. No other result will take place. So it is a true and it is a fact. And when the result is absolute certainty, so if you eat ice, what happens? Only one kind of result will definitely happen, that is the melting of ice. So the result is certain. So we can give 100% guarantee that the result will definitely take place. So in these kind of scenarios, to talk about these kind of scenarios, we normally use zero conditional sentences. It's used to talk about permanent truths. So zero conditional sentences are always used in our conversation to talk about permanent truths, such as scientific facts. And this sentence can also be used in some other situation, like to give instructions in our conversation. So instructions means we can use this conditional sentence structure in an imperative mode. So using imperative structure in the main class, we can use zero conditional sentence to give instructions to the opposite people. If you want to come, call me before 5. So in the if class, we are using simple present tense as usual. And if you look at the main class, simple present tense is also used in the main class, right? But rather we are using the imperative pattern of the sentence. And it is also used to talk about certainty rather than possibility. So zero conditional sentences, these structures or pattern is always used to talk about certainty. When if someone thinks there is certainty, there is 100% guarantee the result will take place, we have to use zero conditional sentence. So we use this sentence structure for certainty rather than possibility. If you take possibility means the result may take place or may not take place. So we use zero conditional sentence in only situations where there is a 100% guarantee for the result. And in this sentence structure, the conjunction if can be replaced with the other conjunction when. Look at this following example, we will clearly understand. If you mix red and blue, you get purple. Look at this example. If you mix red and blue, so there is no one to stop you from mixing these two colors. So if this condition can be satisfied, if this condition can be fulfilled, you will get a result that if you mix red and blue, you get purple. Every time you mix these two colors, you get the purple color. So the result will always happen. No other color, you won't get any other color as a result. You only get purple color. So this is a permanent truth. So in these kind of situations, we normally use zero conditional sentence. And look at the next example. When it rains, the grass gets wet. So here in this example, we replaced the conjunction if with the word when. So but the sentence is same, so there is no difference in meaning. When it rains, the grass gets wet. So every time it rains, the grass, if there is grass, the grass gets wet. So this is zero conditional sentence. So we use zero conditional structures to talk about truths or facts, and we also use this this conditional sentence structure to refer to situations always. So we don't use this sentence structure to refer to a particular situation or particular condition. We use this structure to refer to every time. If the condition is satisfied, the result will take place. Then the second type of conditional sentence, fast conditional sentence, type 1. This conditional sentence is also known as possible condition or future real conditional. Why? What is the reason behind these two other names? Because possible conditional. So if the condition specified in the if clause is fulfilled, there is a possibility that the result will take place. That's why it is also known as a possible conditional sentence. And future real conditional sentence. So if the condition specified in the if clause is fulfilled or satisfied, there is a possibility the result will happen in future. So we are referring to future time in this first conditional sentence. So if you look at the structure, so in the if clause part of the sentence, present simple is used, and in the main clause part of the sentence, will plus the basic form of the verb is used. So if you look at the structure, in the if clause, present simple is used, and in the main clause, will followed by the base form of the verb is used. So when do we use this sentence structure? So it is used to talk about actions or events or situations in the future which are likely to happen or have a real possibility of happening. So if the condition specified in the if clause is fulfilled, there is a possibility that the result specified in the main clause will take place or will happen. So there is no guarantee for the result, unlike the zero conditional sentence. In zero conditional sentence, there is certainty, there is guarantee for the result, but whereas in first conditional sentence, there is no guarantee for the result, but there is a possibility. If the condition specified in the if clause is fulfilled, there is a possibility the result will happen in future. So look at the sentence, if you invite him, he will come. So in the if clause, simple present tense is used. In the main clause, will followed by the base form of the verb is used. So if you invite him, if you satisfy this condition, if you fulfill this condition, means if you invite that person, he will come. He may come or he may not come in the future, but he will come. There is a possibility he will accept the invitation, and there is a possibility he may come to the party or something. So there is a possibility. So in this kind of situation, this first conditional sentence is used. It states that something will happen if a certain condition is fulfilled. So first, if the condition specified in the if clause is fulfilled or satisfied, something will take place. And we use this sentence structure, we use this conditional sentence type to talk about a situation in the future and its probable result. So this conditional sentence structure is specifically used to talk about or used to refer to future time. And in this conditional sentence, the if clause, so whenever we use this conditional sentence for negative sentences, the if plus the word not can be replaced with the negative word unless. So look at the example, we will clearly understand. Unless you study hard, you won't get an admission in any good university. So here in this sentence, the word unless replaced two other words, if plus not. So unless you study hard, if you don't study hard, you won't get an admission in any good university. So there is no change in meaning, but we have only replaced the conjunction if and the negative word not with the word unless. So there is no change in meaning. So if you don't study hard, you won't get an admission in any good university. So if the condition is fulfilled, the result will take place. There is a possibility the result will take place. But if the condition is not satisfied, there is no possibility the result will happen. And this sentence structure can also be used in usual conversation, like it is used for promises, threats, to make offers, etc. in our daily conversation. Look at the example. If you say that again, I will beat you. So this sentence here in this example, this sentence structure is clearly being used to give a threat to the opposite person. If you say that again, I will beat you. So the sentence structure can also be used to talk about promises, threats to the opposite people, and to make offers to the opposite people. Here we have one more example. If I win the lottery, I will buy a new house. So the condition specified in the if clause is satisfied. There is a possibility for the result to take place if I win the lottery. So if I win the lottery means if I fulfill this condition, then I will have a chance to buy a new house. So the result will only happen, there is a possibility for the result only when the condition is specified. Having said that, here there is no 100% guarantee for the result. The result will only happen if the condition is fulfilled. Second conditional sentence, also known as type 2 conditional sentence. This type of conditional sentence also has some other names: present unreal conditional or imaginary conditional. So why is it called as a present unreal conditional? Because although this sentence is used to talk about the present situation, it is not used to talk about the real present situation. It is used to talk about the unreal situation in present time. And it is also known as imaginary conditional. The title itself gives us the clue: imaginary conditional. So this sentence structure all the time in English language used to talk about imaginary things and or some kind of dreams. So before we are going to have have a discussion about the usage of this sentence structure, let's first look at the structure of this sentence, how this sentence is structured. So in if clause, past simple is used, whereas in main clause, the modal would plus the base verb is used in the main clause. So this is how the second conditional sentence is structured. So if followed by simple past in the if clause, and in the main clause the modal would followed by the base form of the verb. Look at the example. If I were a rich man, I would buy a house. If I were a rich man, I would buy a house. So if I were a rich man, what does this sentence mean? So if I were a rich man means the sentence is asking me to imagine as a rich man, and at the same time the sentence is asking me to imagine what I will do if I become a rich man. So if I were a rich man, I would buy a house. So that doesn't mean I am a rich man now. So it's all imaginary. I am dreaming. It's kind of a dream. So this structure, the sentence structure, is used to talk about unlikely, imaginary or hypothetical conditions as well as their probable results. So these sentence structures are not based on the actual reality in the present time. Of course, there may be some scope for the condition to take place in future, but here we are using this sentence structure essentially to talk about the present situation. So this sentence, the conditions specified in these sentences are not based on the actual situations. That's why the result of these sentences is more doubtful here, because the conditions are not based on real life situations. And that's why this sentence structure in our conversation is primarily used to talk about or to express dreams, unreal situations, and things that are unlikely in future or impossible in present time. So if you look at this sentence structure closely, the verb used in this sentence structure is actually in past form, but these sentence structures are clearly used to talk about the present situations. Yeah, this sentence structure is used to imagine the present situation is different than it really is. So we have a present situation at hand, but we are not using this sentence structure to talk about the actual present situation. We expect the present situation to be different. We imagine or we dream the present situation to be different, and we use this structure to express that imaginary situation or the imaginary dream. So look at the examples. If I had money, I would give you. What does this sentence convey? If I had money, I would give you. So the condition specified in the if clause, if I had money, that is an imaginary situation, that is a dream. So to say the truth, I don't have any money now, so I can't give you now. So if I had money, I would give you. If I have money now, I would give you. So I don't have money, I can't give you now. If you came to the party, we would have a lot of fun. If you came to the party, we would have a lot of fun. That means you don't come to the party, and we don't have any chance to have fun. Look at the last example. If the weather wasn't so bad, we would go to the park. So the weather is actually bad now, and we can't go to the park now. So we are using this sentence structure to talk about something that is quite contrary to the present time. Now the weather is actually bad and we can't go to the park now, but we are using this sentence structure to imagine the opposite of the present. So if the weather wasn't so bad, we would go to the park. Yeah, third conditional sentence, otherwise known as type 3 conditional sentence. Like other conditional sentence, this sentence type also has some other names. Impossible conditional, past unreal conditional sentence. Why is it called as an impossible conditional sentence? Yeah, we will understand as we progress through the discussion. Past unreal conditional sentence. Why is it called as a past unreal conditional sentence? Yeah, we will discuss about that. Let's first have a small discussion about the structure. So if you look at the structure, in the if clause, past perfect tense is used to specify the condition. And coming to the main clause, the modal would followed by the helping verb have plus past participle form of the verb is used in the main clause. Yeah, look at the example. If you had participated in the competition, you would have won the prize. So if you look at this if clause part of this sentence, past perfect tense is used in the if clause. And coming to the main clause, would plus, have plus, the past participle form of the verb is used. So what does this sentence convey actually? When do we use this sentence structure in our conversation? We normally use this sentence structure in English language to talk about the past. Unlike the other conditional sentences like zero, past and second conditional sentences, we use this sentence structure to talk about past. So this is the only conditional sentence which is used to talk about the past exclusively. All the other are used to talk about present or future, or to refer to permanent truths. But this sentence structure is used to talk about past exclusively. So, and especially we use this sentence structure to talk about unreal past. What is unreal past? We don't use this sentence structure to talk about what exactly happened in the past. We use this structure to talk about the opposite of what happened in the past. The opposite of what happened in the past. So we don't use this structure to talk about what happened in the past. It is the opposite of what happened in the past. So it is used to talk about a condition or situation that did not take place in the past. And we are so essentially we are using this sentence structure to talk about an imaginary thing in the past and its probable result in the past. So there is no possibility for the condition to take place because we are talking about a past time. So there is no chance to fulfill the condition. So there is no possibility for the condition, and impossible because this condition is impossible to fulfill because it's now too late for the condition and the result to exist, because the time is past. Now we don't have to fulfill the condition. We can't go back into the past and change the situation in the past. We only use this sentence structure to talk about something that did not really happen in the past. So the condition or situation specified in this a conditional sentence structure can no longer be changed. So we only use this sentence structure to talk about past. We talk about past, and we say by using this sentence structure we wish the past is different. We wish the past is different. So the reality is contrary or to opposite of what the sentence expresses. So we don't actually use this sentence structure to exactly specify what happened in the past. We use this structure to talk about the opposite of what happened in the past. And we use this structure: if the situation were different in the past, what would have happened now? How the result would be different now. So that's why in many cases this conditional sentence structure is used to express regret or criticism. Why is it used to express regret or criticism? Because we can no longer change the situation in the past. That's why it is used to express the inability to change the situation, regret. Look at the example. If I had finished high school and gone to university, I would have gotten a better job. So this sentence is talking about the missed opportunity. If I had finished high school and gone to university means the opposite is actually the truth. That means I had not finished my high school and I had not gone to the university. And now I am using this sentence structure to talk about the opposite of what had actually happened. So in a sense I am using this sentence structure to express my regret about the missed opportunity in the past. So if I had finished high school and gone to university, I would have gotten a better job. So that means I did not finish my high school and I did not go to university. Now I don't have any good job now. Yeah, here we have two more examples for this sentence structure. If we had taken a taxi, we wouldn't have missed the train. If we had taken a taxi means we did not take a taxi. So we are using this sentence structure how the situation would be different if we had taken a taxi. So if we had taken a taxi, we would not have missed the train. So the opposite is actually the true for both if clause as well as the main clause. So if we had taken a taxi means if we did not catch a taxi, that's why we missed the train. So if we had taken a taxi, we would have caught the train. So we did not take a taxi, that's why we missed the train. And look at the next example. She would have passed the exam if she had studied. If she had studied, she would have passed the exam. That clearly says the sentence is expressing some kind of regret. If she had studied, that means she did not study and she did not pass the exam. So we are using this sentence structure to express what would have happened if she had studied. If she had studied, she would have passed the exam. So this is the conditional sentences in English language. So these are very helpful in our conversation. Thank you.